Hey, what's going on, guys? Back for another one. It's your host, Lifestyle Amazin, also known as Richie Skillz. This week, we're going to talk about some starts. We're going to talk about some sits, some stashes, and some guys you can scoop up, maybe throw into your lineup if you need to. So good luck this week, and let's get ready for week 13. First, I'm going to start with a quarterback, and that's going to be Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams going up against a tough Cleveland Browns defense. We know the Browns can stop a lot of quarterbacks. They have a really good defense, but Stafford has talent around him in the core and Cup. And the way Williams played last week, I think he's going to get him involved in the passing game. So I do like Stafford. If he's on your waiver, he's a good guy to pick up. Then we're going to go with another guy that's been playing pretty good lately, and that is Gardner Minshew of the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are good at stopping the run, but not so much on the pass. And Minshew has Josh Downs that he's going to throw the ball to that got targeted 13 times last game. And the way he's been using Pittman this year at a high level. So with the injury to Jonathan Taylor, I definitely see him having a pass in this game, or at least trying to get his receivers involved. He's a guy I'm picking up also if he's on the way. And then we're going to go with a guy that I'm going to start this week, and he's going to be in a shootout, and that is Russell Wilson of the Denver Broncos going up against the Houston Texans. He's playing against CJ Stroud that's playing at a superstar level, and they're going to have to stay in this game. So I can see Wilson throwing the ball 30, 40 times this game. So he's definitely a guy that I'm looking to start this week. Then we got another guy who was an underdog but has been playing good since he took over the starting role, and that is Brock Purdy of the San Francisco 49ers going up against a tough Philadelphia Eagles defense. They are very good at getting to the quarterback. Another game that's going to be a shootout, or the Philadelphia is going to score, even though they're playing the tough 49ers defense, but Purdy's going to have to get his players involved, and I see him having a good game against Philly this week. And this is a guy I would sit, and that is Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. He's been playing very well lately, but I just don't see him having success going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't play great defense last week, but Andy Reid will find ways to get to Love. I just don't like him this week. He's a guy that I'm definitely sitting. And then another guy that I would be sitting is Derek Carr of the New Orleans Saints going up against the Detroit Lions. The Lions have been up and down with their defense, but the Saints might be out without Chris Olave, and they might be out with Rashid Shaheed. So who is he going to throw the ball to? He can't throw it to himself. They might have Johnson and maybe Kamara. So I don't really like this matchup for Derek Carr. So he's a guy that I'm definitely sitting. Running back that I would be scooping up if he's out there right now, stashing. He's on a bye week, and that is Roschon Johnson of the Chicago Bears going up against nobody this week, maybe practice. But yeah, talking about practice. He's a guy that I think is taking over the starting job, and Khalil Herbert is losing touches to him. So they're going to see what they have in Johnson. He's definitely a guy that I would be grabbing if he's out there available on your waiver. Definitely on this bye week. Another guy that's been stepping up is a backup running back, and this is Ezekiel Elliott of the New England Patriots. They're giving him about 9 carries a game. If anything happens to Stevenson, he's definitely a guy that I would be starting. He's going up against the Los Angeles Chargers. No matter who the quarterback is on the Patriots, they're going to have to try to score points, and they might lean on their running game. So if he's out there, I'm picking him up. He's been sitting on people's benches, but right now he's going back into a starting role, and that is Zach Moss of the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Tennessee Titans. Are good on the run, but with the injury to Jonathan Taylor, I think Moss, he steps up to being a top 20 running back again. He's a guy you can definitely pick up and play. This guy is a guy you should be starting is Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs, but he's going up against a Green Bay Packers defense. You know, could be a little bit tough, but you have to play him. They're getting him more involved in the goal line, the passing down. So he's a guy I definitely would be looking to keep in my lineup, especially getting closer to the fantasy playoffs. Guys that I would sit at running back, and that is Zach Charbonnet of the Seattle Seahawks going up against a tough Dallas Cowboys defense. I don't want any part of Parsons with the injury to Kenneth Walker, and they might ride him out this year. It's a guy that I'm definitely looking to keep but not play this week. I would bench him and see what happens. We don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, and that is Jalen Warren of the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Arizona Cardinals. It is a fair good matchup for him, but I just don't see him getting enough volume to be productive and help you win your fantasy week this week. So he's a guy I'm definitely sitting. A wide receiver that I would be picking up if he's still out there. He's been good as a rookie. He's been very consistent the last couple of weeks, and that is Jaden Reed of the Green Bay Packers going up against a Kansas City Chiefs defense that gives up a lot of points. Maybe Reed might not be have a massive game, but I think he'll be good enough for 5 catches, 50 yards, and get you at least 10 points. He's a guy that I'm picking up, at least putting on my bench for this week, and see what happens going down the road. And then another guy, if he's out there, he probably won't be, but he was injured and he wasn't playing at a high level lately, and that is Josh Downs of the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Tennessee Titans. If you have him, I would be playing him this week, especially as a wide receiver 3. And another guy I would be starting that doesn't have the greatest quarterback throwing him the ball, and that is Deontay Johnson of the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Arizona Cardinals. We know that that's another game where Murray's going to get his receivers involved. So the Steelers are going to be playing from behind. And I think Johnson, with 8 targets last game, he's going to get that going forward. He's definitely a big part of their offense. Whether he catches the ball or not, the volume is there. I have another guy who's been very talented as a rookie, a very good sleeper this year, and that's Puka Nacua of the Los Angeles Rams going up against a tough Cleveland Browns defense. Now, the Browns could lock him down, but the kind of talent that Nacua has, this is a guy that you can't sit. You have to play him. So he's a guy I'm definitely looking to play this week as well. Has all the talent in the world, but age is catching up to him, and that is DeAndre Hopkins of the Tennessee Titans playing on a team that where Will Levis doesn't throw the ball a lot, going up against a tough Indianapolis Colts defense. I don't like this matchup this week. He's a guy I would definitely bench, at least for right now. Another guy who came out of nowhere last week, we expected big things from him this year, and that is Christian Watson of the Green Bay Packers going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think he's on the outside looking in this week. I don't think he'll be able to repeat his success from last week. So he's a guy I'm definitely benching this week. The tight ends, this tight end came out of nowhere. I almost picked him up on my waiver wire, and that is Pat Freiermuth of the Pittsburgh Steelers going up against the Arizona Cardinals. I think that McBride's going to outplay Freiermuth, but he's definitely a guy that you got to pick up if he's out there and maybe start, because it's a slim position, the tight end. Another tight end that I think you could pick up that could give you a couple of points will be the Tennessee Titans tight end. I don't really know how to say his name too well, so I'm just going to say the Titans tight end. And going up against the Indianapolis Colts, that they're going to throw some short passes to him, so he's definitely a guy that I would pick up and at least stash for now. And then a guy that I would be starting this week, I really like Juwan Johnson, is definitely a must play for me this week. On the New Orleans Saints going up against the Detroit Lions, I think he's going to be heavily involved in this offense this week. So there's a chance that he gets a touchdown for you. He's a guy that I'll definitely put in if I need him for a bye week fill-in or an injury fill-in as well. I would go with, that's going to be a security blanket for whoever plays quarterback for the Jets, and that is Tyler Conklin of the New York Jets going up against the Atlanta Falcons. They're good at stopping the wide receivers. Their cornerbacks are good, so I think Conklin has a chance to produce some points and catches some passes. A guy that I would probably bench this week at tight end because there's a lot of talent around him, or at least Stroud is making him look very, very talented, and that is Dalton Schultz of the Houston Texans going up against the Denver Broncos. The Broncos just had a great defense game last week, but they also didn't play the best team. So I think that Schultz is going to have a down week. So he's a guy that I'm definitely probably sitting this week. And then we got another guy that was supposed to be very talented coming out of college, wide receiver at a tight end position, and that's Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons going up against a tough New York Jets defense. So the way the Jets have been playing this year, I don't trust Pitts. So I definitely would be benching him this week. We're going to move on to my defenses. A defense I'm going to pick up this week, doesn't matter. It's the Atlanta Falcons. They're going up against the New York Jets, and the Jets' quarterback play has been horrible this season, all the way from Aaron Rodgers to whoever they got starting now, that the Falcons are going to be having a field day in this one. So I'm picking them up and I'm starting them if they are on your waiver wire. Another defense I would be picking up is the Tampa Bay Bucks going up against the Carolina Panthers. Young hasn't had really a successful year this year, that he doesn't have a lot of receivers around him. The Tampa Bay Bucks will be able to get to him, or at least be able to pick him off once or twice, maybe couple of sacks too as well. So yeah, that's definitely a defense I'm picking up. Then a defense that I would be starting this week is going to be a must start, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Jaguars will be able to get to the quarterback, to Browning, and the way that a lot of people are playing on that team, this is a good matchup definitely for the Jaguars. My sleeper or a must start defense for me is going to be the Indianapolis Colts going up against the Tennessee Titans. And the way Will Levis has been playing, he's been getting sacked a lot this year. So I think the Colts will be getting to him at least 5 times this week. And then we got some defenses that I would be sitting, and that is the Detroit Lions going up against the New Orleans Saints. And then another defense I would be sitting is the New Orleans Saints going up against the Detroit Lions. Okay, so that's all my defenses. And now I don't usually normally do this, but we're going to go with a couple of kickers this week. And that is a kicker that I would start this week would be Matt Gay. He has a very good schedule coming up. He's going up against the Tennessee Titans. I see the Colts scoring about 27 points in this one. It's definitely a kicker that I would like to have if I have a kicker on a bye week. Also, he's good for the rest of the season as well. Another guy that I would be picking up, maybe playing or maybe stashing, Groupie with the New Orleans Saints going up against the Detroit Lions. He had about 18 points last week, and I can just see him having a lot more success going forward. But then again, he is a kicker, and kickers are up and down. A guy I would be sitting this week is Riley Patterson of the Detroit Lions going up against the New Orleans Saints. I don't really see the kicker doing very well in this game, just like he didn't do that great last week. So, well, that's it for me, guys. We'll be back for week 14, and we'll see if any of this advice helped you. So, peace.